Namaste, beautiful people. Welcome to Unfold Your Soul. Thank you so much for being here as I walk you through the energies surrounding the new moon in Cancer. Cancer season is always very deeply felt as it deals with our memory, our inner child, our childhoods, our mothers, our genetic makeup as well. It's our water, our private sphere. And thus I will do my best to give you some images as well for you to navigate through these energies with grace and a lot of heart. This new moon is occurring on the 10th of July at 18 degrees of Cancer. And I will go a bit deeper into relationship dynamics because this full moon in Capricorn brought in a story of karmic connections, fated connections, soul connections with the Pluto-Venus opposition we had there. So if you would like to have a broader view on the narrative, do check out that video I made on the full moon in Capricorn as well. I will be sharing as well some healing images and some remedies if you would have a bit of trouble in that house. So 18 degrees of Cancer, that is where this new moon takes place. So if you have your personal chart, this is where you would be looking to define where you would have a possibility for a fresh start or for a new intention to give birth to a new world within you and without, as within, so without. So let's get straight in. First thing that strikes me about this chart is that all the outer planets, except for Uranus in Taurus, so by that I mean Saturn in Aquarius, Pluto still in Capricorn, and Neptune in Pisces, they are all retrograde. When a planet is retrograde, and these are all big players, these are the giants in the sky, Jupiter also retrograde, I forgot that one. So when these are retrograde, it means that they must be given at that point individual expression. The energy turns inward and we make it part of ourselves. What's really interesting is that these outer players are all retrograde except for Uranus, in the mature part of the sky, in the worldly signs. So Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, this is the winter season of our zodiac. So they are, all of them, communicating these mind-opening messages to us. And this has been going on for a while. But now with all the personal planets direct and happening and also coming together, because we cannot forget Sun and Moon coming together in Cancer means a wedding in the sky. Sun and Moon, Moon rules Cancer, the Sun rules Leo, where we have also strong personal energy going on. They are standing together. It's like a wedding in the sky. So we are within ourselves integrating all these bigger outer energies of which we have not really a logical understanding. These are things that are intuitively felt, but that are strong. I will be diving into how these outer energies communicate with our personal lives. So to begin with, this healing image that came up, we have in the sign of Cancer, ruled by the moon, or fourth house, the foundation of our soul. It's a soul house because it's lunar. And when something is lunar, it's of the moon and it's always of the past. It's of the mother. It's our emotional security, our emotional safety. So that's where this new beginning is taking place, because the sun and the moon are in the same camp. Our receptive side and our active side are having a wedding there. So that's happening in Cancer. Then in the neighboring sign, we have Venus and Mars, also a male and a female principle, doing the same thing. Venus at 15 degrees and Mars at 17 degrees. It's a 2-degree orb. They're very closely tied together. Then across from Cancer and Leo, we have the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. That's where we have Pluto and Saturn communicating to these two unions. So what this is telling me is that there is a relational context in which this balancing is taking place, that we are socializing to figure out what are the new ways of being in relationship. This new moon, this union of Sun and Moon in Cancer, is sextiling Uranus. Uranus, it's our collective mind. It's our genius. Imagine all the genius brains of the world together, communicating, innovating, actively working with this marriage in the sky. That's a kind of a infusion of what can we do that hasn't been done before. Now with Venus and Mars together in Leo, Leo is heart, it's bold expressions of love, it's love declarations. You know, this is why we talk always of a summer of love, summer romances. It's because when the sun is shining in Leo, the sun is at home, the heart is at home, and we express our love. Then, also important to mention is that Leo holds Venus and Mars, Cancer holds the sun and the moon. Both of these duos are working in the second decan. What does this mean? It's from 10 to 20 degrees. This is technical knowledge, but it is the house of the soul. Venus and Mars there, this decan is ruled by Jupiter. So it has this kind of taking a risk energy, taking a risk for love, doing something new, feeling lucky about it. Jupiter is in Pisces, retrograding, is integrating that energy of divine union, forgiveness, a higher principle of love, spiritual communion, a love that is for the benefit of all. Making that personal, it's not holding back, it's actually saying to another person, I like you. Interesting. Sun and Moon is the parental principle. If we would make this personal and see the planets not only as actors but as people in our lives, then we could say the sun is the father, father's son, and the moon is the mother. They're together in Cancer, so they're at home. They're feeling strong in their bond, in their union. Next to that, we have Leo hosting Venus and Mars. Venus can be the lover, yes, but it can also be the daughter. So if we see Venus and Mars as a younger expression of that union, like a couple that is not married, that is having a romance or is in a budding relationship, they are standing across the sky of Saturn right now. Sun and Moon are standing across the sky of Pluto. These are transformative energies. We had this Venus opposing Pluto at the last full moon in Capricorn. So that brought in karmic connections, fated connections, love that transforms. Now Venus is together with Mars. She went up to meet Mars. In this story, Venus, the goddess of love, the daughter, goes up to Mars, her lover, and she says, let's make this real. Now, this is a love lived. It's a love expressed. And with Saturn across the sky, reality has to be faced. We're beyond denial here. Saturn is the reason why we came back to Earth, like to be earthbound, to be in our skins and experience things. So the reasons why we came here are activated through our love lives in this story. So we would address our interpersonal karma and reflecting back to the opposition of Venus and Pluto we had on the 23rd of June when we had the full moon, the last full moon. This is an unfolding energy, and of course we're all different and our charts are all different, so this can unfold in many different scenarios. Depending on where you are on your journey when it comes to relationships, the potential for pain is high, but so is the potential for healing. That's really the beauty here. Inner child work, all of these things can be really great because Cancer, it's a sign that represents memory, that represents the past, and that has all that water that can make us feel safe eventually within our own experience. So to move further to the healing image that comes up with these actors, the sun and moon as parents and Venus and Mars together as lovers, this is this idea of two lovers introducing their love affair to their parents successfully, or to their inner parent already to begin with, by overcoming their story, by overcoming the story of the past, of their woundedness, and making that somehow sacred. It can be a couple moving in together, and in such beautifying the archetypal expression of sun and moon, of the couple, the married couple. It can even mean two people getting married or deciding not to do it and do it in a different way. Because with Uranus in the T-square, there is a demand for an innovation. Like, how can we do this now differently? Remembering also the North Node is in Gemini, so we are learning correct human relationships. And what does this mean now, in the times we are in now? Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. So it's going to be important to do it differently than our parents, because we are informed by the past. And there is also a sense of discovery with this sextile of Sun and Moon and Venus and Mars. So these new relationships, these new approaches to relationships, and these new ways of moving in together, all of it is on the table. Chiron is squaring this new moon, and the existential wounds represented by childhood, the idea of life itself, they create attention for this new beginning. So this can be a good thing, because the past cannot be ignored. We can no longer look through the eyes of love and denial. The glorious days of denial are really over, and the love that is birthed now, it cannot blossom in ignorance. So we have to do it differently, with a loving eye to the past, and I think that's where the challenge lies. These oppositions, they will make us remember, and they will invite us to mourn our losses of who we once were by seeing our relationships for what they really are. The conversations are held, and our karmic past is fully seen. The blueprint with which we came into this world is before our eyes. And that's really interesting, because it seems like our karmic past and our private spheres, Cancer, our personal lives, like our relaxing space, as well as the evolutionary impulse of our soul towards true unconditional love, they are communicating. It's full of synchronicities, and because we're in Cancer season, Cancer is memory, we can remember things from lifetimes past. Venus and Mars also just passed through Cancer, so that lover's energy from the past is with us. Chiron is really interesting here, because Chiron is described as the wounded healer. What Chiron does is he addresses the wounds, he brings them to surface to create this bridge from our karma, which bounds us to earth, which makes us sometimes feel stuck in our skin, to the outer energies that are very expansive, creative, that have all this genius, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. To come back to this healing image, although Saturn in opposition to Venus and Mars suggests love karma, karma with our seductive side and karma with our masculine side, and expressed in a social context, because they are opposite in the sky. The fact that the moon and the sun and Venus and Mars are sextiling each other, they are befriending each other. So this talks about an opportunity of uniting our emotions, what we need to feel secure and safe, with the heart consciousness. And heart is not of the emotion, it's a higher consciousness where everything is one. Jupiter ruling this. So where a certain right way of thinking can exist. Now, the inconjunct of this new moon to Saturn, it indicates, yes, there needs to be an adjustment of the authority within our lives. And this is the parent within. Like, how do we parent ourselves? That's the question here. And also an attunement of our individual balance, the sun and moon within us, to clear the world karma. Saturn in Aquarius, the karma of the people, what we filter for the collective. So this can be something to meditate on, you know, like there can be a lot of realizations on what it takes to be building a successful union that lasts through time, where the erotic side of things is integrated and stimulated continuously, where the spark is kept alive. A lot of theories around this, relationship coaching, all of that can be very interesting right now to people, because we want to make it work. We want the transformation to happen. Whereas Venus was opposing Pluto at the full moon, now at the new moon in Cancer, This opposition this opposition of Pluto is between the new moon and Pluto. So it's the more mature masculine and feminine, the ones that have made the commitment, that are now being transformed. Then let's see what else we have. We have also a sextile to Uranus, which I mentioned, which is this innovation, this innovative energy. And we have a trine to Neptune. And that's really wonderful here, because Neptune is in Pisces and it's mature there. So it's about daring to dream. The dreams that you have when you feel completely safe within yourself, or when you feel completely safe in your home environment, to dare to rely on that intuition and to trust that. And guided by this idea of doing relationships differently, of looking at the karmic aspect of how we came into this world, Cancer, the portal into incarnation. So what kind of parents we had and what their relationship dynamic was, whether they are divorced or together, that doesn't really say anything about the essence of it. Like the essence, the pattern of it is seen here, integrating this Neptune in Pisces there. We could talk about, okay, there is some kind of blessing of letting go of the part of our identity that is genetic, the sperm of the father, the egg of the mother. What it is that we came to sort out in our relationships, how to not repeat the past, how to actually integrate this karma, like fully see it and accept it and add our own gift to evolution. Neptune is the ruler on a soul level of Cancer as well. And with that energy, it's our divine love, Neptune. It's a healer. It is the cosmic ocean of forgiveness, right? It's that divine love. And Source is in a way blessing this union in the sky. It's saying it's okay to let go of whatever you inherited through the lineage, of whatever you inherited of the parental home. Because Chiron, with that square to the sun and moon, is kind of an emergency to change as well. And Neptune trining it is blessing it and saying like, you go, it's all right. And that's really wonderful here. What Pluto is telling this union is more like bring the secrets out of the closet. And that was already in the atmosphere, but now it's like, okay, how can we live a cleaner life? How can we make this and sculpt this and craft this in a more beautiful way? And with Jupiter ruling that second decan where Mars and Venus are together, this energy of taking a risk for love holds also that construction within, like what do we need to feel safe within? What is emotional intimacy for ourselves, and a learning to just drop our defenses and let go of the walls we build around our hearts and just say it as it is, express it boldly with color. Let's remember the 4th house, the Cancer house, is a soul house and it rules the private sphere. It's where you retreat from the world and the things you have seen in the world when you were out there living your life. It's where you can relax, where you can come to yourself. So the moon is who we are at night when no one is watching. And Neptune, as the soul ruler of Cancer, gives that higher expression. It's where you could make your home a sanctuary to your own divinity. Now, if there are difficulties with the 4th house, you have a complicated 4th house, this means often that you cannot relax, or not being relaxed or not being able to relax is a result of a distressed 4th house. Same for depression. So if you're experiencing this in your life, the medicine for that is, in Vedic astrology, actually pretty straightforward. It's like associate with emotionally stable, healthy people. If you would associate with overthinkers, they're gonna drain you. It's not gonna be good for you. So looking at who you invite in the home, having a clean atmosphere there, what contributes to your comfort, who contributes to your comfort, Who stabilizes you? Who grounds you? Those are the questions to ask, and to see if there is something there that you can do for yourself to beautify that environment. Thank you so much for being here. If you have not subscribed yet, that would be wonderful. Click that button below, give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends and family. I send you so much love and have a beautiful Cancer season. Namaste.